We're only 5 minutes late. Again, I apologize for technical errors on my part, but we're all up and running. I think everybody can hear me. Let's do a roll call, please.
Mayor Giles?
Here.
Councilmember Holmes?
Here.
Councilmember Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilmember Machezik?
Here.
Councilmember Sowers?
Here.
Thank you, Bessie Jo. That's everybody. Thank you, council. Our first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everyone could stand, I'll lead us in that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first order of business will be approving our agendas. So we'll start with the overall agenda. Would someone from the council please make a motion, and then I need a second for the published agenda.
It's Mike. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Mike.
Second, this is Melanie.
Melanie, thank you. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the published agenda for the October 22nd meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The agenda is approved. The next item is our consent agenda, and this requires a vote, a roll call vote. Would someone please make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mike, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Thank you, Mike. We have a second from Tom. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the published consent agenda. May I have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Machezik?
Yes.
Councilmember Sowers?
Yes.
Mayor Giles?
Yes.
Councilmember Holmes?
Yes.
Councilmember Nielsen?
Yes.
Thank you, council. The motion passes. Agendas and the consent agenda are both approved as published. Next item is our general public comment. During the COVID-19 precautions that we've been taking, doing meetings remote, public comment is only accepted in writing prior to the meeting. So Bessie Jo, were there any public comments submitted prior to 3 p.m. today?
No, we did not receive any written public comment.
All right, no written comments were submitted, and we're not taking any verbal comments during the meeting, so we'll move on to our first report. There are two reports being given tonight. The first is the McCall Redevelopment Agency, and after that we'll hear from the Tree Committee. So first up is the MRA annual report for the Urban Renewal District.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Michelle Grunewald, Community and Economic Development Director. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Michelle, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Okay, great. So this evening, the chair, Rick Faraday, I'm not sure if he's on the line. Are you on the line, Rick? He was intending to present the annual report. Bessie Jo, do you see him? I don't see him on the line.
No, I do not see him. The only caller I have is 6304076.
Okay, well, I guess the council has been provided a summary of the work in the past year that the McCall Redevelopment Agency has been working on, and I'm happy to either present that or answer any questions that the council may have on that. Mayor Bob, would you like me to run through the report, or do you want to just leave it up to any questions?
No, I think that's a fine process. We can call for questions. I was just gonna ask you, I was scanning this again. It's a good summary, but I was gonna ask you if you would update the board members. It is dated October 22nd, 2020, and since I believe since January, I have not served on that board anymore, so maybe we could edit that.
Yeah, I just noticed that you were still on the list, so I'll make sure that gets deleted.
Thanks.
I will just mention Lou Ross is the newly appointed member, which I think the council actually appointed, but so he's been able to attend a couple of meetings, and that's our newest member. I think most of the other members you're all familiar with.
Yep. So council, I'm gonna run through and ask you if you have any questions for Michelle on this roughly one-page summary of the MRA annual report. I'm gonna start with Melanie. Do you have any questions?
No, sir, I'm good tonight.
Thanks, Melanie. Next up will be Mike.
I don't have any questions.
Tom, any questions?
Nope.
No questions from Tom or Mike. Colby, do you have any questions or comments about MRA?
No questions for me. Looks like we got everything in the report there.
Thank you, Colby. And this is Bob. I don't have any questions for you, Michelle. I appreciate your staff and yourself helping us with the MRA. And I also wanted to just express my appreciation to Mike and to Colby for serving on the MRA board. It's a very good board, lots of good people that are doing good work, and we appreciate having two council members participate in that. With that, we'll move on to our next annual report, and that would be the tree committee. Usually Kurt helps us with that.
I'll be taking that one tonight, Mayor Bob.
Okay, thank you, Annette.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Annette Spickard, City Manager. Kurt is out of the area right now, so I told him I would go ahead and introduce our tree committee presentation. I believe John Lillehog, the chair of the committee, is on the line with us. I hope to actually present the report. As you know, the tree committee helps us identify and select trees for landmark status. They help us inventory our street trees. They review development proposals for landscaping plans and provide their feedback to P&Z and to the council. They did attach a report for you. Mr. Lillehog has been with the committee for over 12 years now and has been the chair for most of that time. He was a private forestry specialist with the Idaho Department of Lands and has recently retired. However, he's still acting as a private consultant for the community and surrounding areas within our region. John has been a real asset to our community and an incredible resource for the Parks Department, helping us manage our community forest and assisting our city arborist with consultations. We're very fortunate to have a great group of local professionals serve on this committee, and John has done a great job chairing it. So I will turn it over to John to highlight their accomplishments for you this year.
Welcome, John. Appreciate you being on the call with us.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
We can.
Well, Mayor Giles, members of the council and city staff, I didn't realize Kurt had written up such a glowing report. I don't know if I could live up to that all the way, but I'll give it a try. Anyway, the annual report for the tree committee is as follows. We have achieved or maintained our city status as a Tree City USA for the 19th year in a row. and achieved the 14th annual Growth Award. And the Growth Award is getting harder to accomplish because it requires a certain number of points from different selected items that the Tree USA has given us. So we're having to work harder each year to come up with a Growth Award, but I think the accomplishment is well worth it. We didn't get the chance to have very many meetings this year due to COVID-19, but and then also several of our events were canceled. But we're back in action again and working currently for the new application, or this year's application, for the Tree City USA and hopefully our 15th Growth Award. Our traditional Arbor Day celebration was canceled due to COVID. However, we did have a virtual event, which included the reading of the Lorax and an Arbor Day proclamation. We also made available some Ponderosa pine seedlings that we were able to get from the Lucky Peak Nursery, available to the public so they can plant them. We continue to monitor and mitigate the Douglas fir bark beetle infestation that's been going on for a number of years. I think we're hoping that it's on the downward cycle, judging by the number of calls we get and stuff that seems to be decreasing, although it's still present and still manages to take a few trees here and there throughout the city. August 4th, we were able to have Matt Lindy, who's the Ponderosa State Park Manager, come and give us a presentation on the work that they're going to be doing this winter. They are working on a timber sale that it's called the Ponderosa Pine Restoration Project. And what they're trying to do is go in and remove a lot of the climax species, grand fir, some of the Doug fir, and that, so they can restore the Ponderosa pine to its for which the park has been named for, and hopefully keep that in there. Those species are kind of taking over the site and causing some problems as they grow in there, and reducing the number of Ponderosa pine in the park. So they're hoping to go in and take those out this winter on snow and restore the Ponderosa pine to its natural environment. We also had a field trip this fall of some of the fire mitigation projects that are occurring on the edge of the city. Most of them are on Bear Basin and some of that area. The Valley County has been able to very successful in securing grants to carry on this work, where they're reducing the fuel loading and hopefully to mitigate some of the fire risk that this community faces. We helped select some tree species for the core city, or the Down Core project. Again, we help the arborist Kurt Wolf with his workload as far as looking at trees, helping the private landowners or even the public owners around with identification of problems and stuff. We provide some backup assistance for him on that. This year, we were very lucky to get Eddie Hyder selected to attend the Multiple Forestry Institute training. This was offered from a scholarship from the Department of Lands, and it was held in Alabama in late February, I believe. And this training is well known for its municipal value, or forestry value. Also, we were trying to get Eddie and Nate Todd, who's a member of our tree committee, training to become certified arborists, so we'd have more arborists available other than Kirk in the city. But that was canceled because it came in about the time the COVID hit. We're going to try that again, and hopefully we can get both of them through that training. I guess that pretty well concludes the summary. I'm sure we'd take some questions if there's any out there.
Thank you, John. Before we go to questions, I wanted to express my thanks from City Council and from the city. As a mayor, I got a really nice letter from Senator Jim Risch complimenting us on our annual Tree City Growth Award and recognition of all the good things that city has done in line with that. So please express our appreciation to everyone on your committee. And I wanted to thank you, John, as our chairman.
Well, I will sure pass that on. Thank you.
So questions for John Lillyhog, our chairman of the tree committee. Let me start with Mike Machezik. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions, and thank you for all of your years of serving and doing public service for our community.
Thank you.
Melanie, any questions or comments you'd like to make to John?
No questions, but John, especially thanks for navigating this year with the Lorax. I think that's a much loved experience in our community, and I really appreciate that you made that happen.
Well, the kids sure enjoy it. I know that.
Thanks, Melanie. Tom?
Oh, thanks for all your hard work. No questions.
Thanks, Tom. Colby?
No questions for me. Yeah, thank you for everything you're doing for the city.
All right. Thank you, council. And again, John, we appreciate everything that you and your committee are doing. There's some pretty high caliber people. I was just looking at the current membership and got a great group. Please tell everyone on that committee thanks on our behalf.
I will definitely do that. Thank you, Mayor.
All right.
Rick Faraday, he's joined the meeting if you wanted to.
Thank you, Betsy Jo. I just was notified Rick Faraday has joined the meeting. Rick, this is Mayor Bob. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Let me get back
Oh,
over the computer and get unmuted.
Good.
Do you care to see my ugly mug?
Yeah, please join us. There you go. I can see you on my screen. Thanks for joining us. We went real quickly through the written report, but we would like to hear from you. Give us maybe 5 minutes of the highlights of what, as the chair, how you think things are going with the MRA.
Okay, well, all right. I'll start with the new district because it's pretty basic. Not much happened in there yet. We really haven't. We've discussed it. We've looked at the plan and got through the plan and got it adopted, but we're just it's kind of a wait and see mode there. So not much happening there. But the old district, the MRA, we call it, is in its final year. This is the last year we can do any projects. We are going to finish some up next year, but we have to have them identified and planned this year. So, and as you probably all know, we've got a pretty big project going down on the lake shore, Browns Park, and south to the marina. So I don't know I'm sorry I was late in joining. Did you already go through some of that, or did Michelle or someone go over some of that stuff?
So what we did, Rick, is we've got the one-page report, which is very good, real short and sweet. And we asked if there were any questions on any of those items from the council, and there were not. But speaking about Brown Park and the shoreline, we had a really good briefing on that, and I believe the council has been very supportive of that. And when we got to that topic about funding it, the study and pulling it together and having engineering work to kind of give us some guidance, I remember that both Colby and Mike, who sit on the board with you, they were able to help us go through that. So
Okay, good.
I think we're up to speed on that project.
Yeah, okay, so work is I think it's starting Monday. I think there's actually start first of next week, at least mobilization on Browns Park and the stabilization. So that's good news. That's stuff that had to be done at low water.
Right.
So and you probably know that you guys authorized that as the city council. So that's phase one. And that shoreline stabilization down there is scheduled to start next week. It came in below estimates, which was great, as you probably know. We're really happy about that. Another part that's kind of in the works is the public art component of in that district. It'll have to be in the district, of course, because that's where we spend our money. But we're pretty excited about that. We think we've got a really quality artist who's leading the charge there. We've been very impressed with her. Colby and Mike, you could chime in if you want to, but I'm pretty happy with the way that's going. So. Other than that, we're looking forward to revising some engineering estimates. I know that Nathan is working real hard on getting the engineering bid or component of that down. I think the engineers smelled a fat fee here and because they knew we had to spend this money right away. So that's just my take, but you've got a good guy there in your engineer or your public works manager who is holding their feet to the fire. I think he's trying to get a little bit better value out of engineering there. So that's ongoing. We were hoping to have something at the last meeting, but I think that's going to be presented either November or December. I think it'll be November. We'll have some more detail there. So that's good news, and we'll be ready to finish the projects next spring. I think at least by the end of the summer. Hopefully we'll be done with what we can afford to do. So that's the short and sweet. Mike,
Thank you.
Mike or Colby, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't think I have anything to add to that. Thanks for the update, Rick.
The only thing that I would add is just kind of for the record here, is not that I was involved with the Urban Renewal District when it started, but based on decades of history of what Rick Faraday has done for the this part of town where I'm sitting right now, and culminating in getting as far towards completion of visions that date back many years. I think many thanks to Rick's dedication to revitalizing this part of downtown.
Well, thanks for that, Mike. That's kind of you. It wasn't just me. There was a lot of people involved in this, and I was just one of the crowd going along. So, but I think that McCall is well served by urban renewal law. So I was happy to be a part of that.
We agree. Any last minute questions or compliments you would like to pass along, Melanie?
Well, I have no questions, but again, thank you, Rick. I also am sitting in the part of town that you have incredibly impacted through your service. And I just want to thank you. I think it's amazing what you and everyone has done through this urban renewal project.
Thanks, Melanie. Tom?
And I think I'll just echo, thanks, Rick, and pass that on to everybody who's helped you out, because you know better than us, all the people that have been key parts of this. Good work. Thank you.
So, Rick, my final comments would be, Annette and I had the privilege of sitting down with the governor the Friday before Labor Day weekend, and that was one of the topics that came up. Was we had about an hour with Governor Little, talked about how proud we are, the city that is, of everything that MRA has done, and we're proud about our partnership in assisting MRA. As you know, not all downtown efforts have gone so well, and the governor hears about all, the good and the bad. So he was very interested in hearing about our successes, and I think Annette had followed up with him to provide him some good examples to share when the legislature reconvenes and tries to tinker with that. So please express our appreciation to your entire committee. And as Mike pointed out, it's been a long haul. It's been a lot of different people that are no longer on the committee, but as you run into those people, please tell them thanks for us.
I definitely will. There's some that come to mind, and Scott Findley actually was a huge part of my early days on that board, and I think that some people don't realize how important he was as a partner with the board in helping getting stuff done. So he's one that stands out to me. There, Bob Don Bailey was great. We had a lot of good members, so I had a lot of good help. So thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us tonight, and keep up the good work.
All right.
As I said, we're very proud of MRA, so keep it going.
All right, we'll do it.
All right,
I'm gonna
take
check
care.
out. See ya.
Thanks, Rick.
Our next item is Library Board of Trustees. We have a recommendation from the Board of Trustees tonight for an appointment of a new member. Meg, are you leading us through that, or is Jackie the chair of the Board of Trustees, or both of you? How are we going to do that tonight? So Meg, if you can hear me, we'll need you to unmute.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry about that. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, I'm Meg Lojek, Library Director, and I will introduce the bill and then introduce our potential new appointment. So this agenda bill is for the appointment of a new member of the Library Board of Trustees. We hope that this is the last in a little string of them we've had recently. This particular opening comes to replace Mr. Ed Hirschberger, who has retired from the board and is moving out of the city limits. He has served for many, many years in our community, and we are very grateful to him for his service. As grateful as we are, we're also looking toward the future, and the current Board of Trustees is open-minded and excited about the new skills that the new members are bringing along. So this morning, the library board met and they considered 4 applicants. After discussion, they voted unanimously to recommend Patrick Coyle for appointment to the Library Board of Trustees. Because Mr. Hirschberger served out his complete term, as you know, a library board appointment is for 5 years, so this appointment would be for 5 years. We are happy with this recommendation to council, and we're happy that Patrick is able to join us tonight. So he is here. Before I turn it over to him to introduce himself to you, I just wanted to point out and apologize. I believe there's a typo in the agenda bill, and it says it makes reference to council's October 23rd meeting. So I believe today's the 22nd. And I just didn't want anybody to be confused that we are asking for this appointment to be considered tonight, October 22nd. So thank you for letting me correct that typo. And I'd like to introduce Patrick to go ahead and introduce himself to the council.
Hi, council and mayor. I'm Patrick Coyle. I grew up in this community most of my life. The library, why I've tried to join this board of trustees, is the library is incredibly important to me. Without it being there, I wouldn't have been able to get my degree in psychology. They were able to proctor all my tests, and I was able to graduate 2 years ago. And also being a parent of 2 small children who are voracious readers, and during this pandemic, it's been really helpful to have, not have to order books all the time on Amazon and just go down to the library and, pick up some books, which has been great. Yeah, I've always wanted to get back to the community, and I think this is a good opportunity to do that.
Thank you, Patrick. So council, perhaps you might want to have some dialogue with Patrick. This is a chance for questions, if you have any. I'm going to start with Tom. Could you start us out?
I will. Patrick, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you, Tom?
Great. Patrick and I have spent many, many, many hours running on the trails around McCall together, doing a lot of other stuff. And I think he's a wonderful fit for this, and he's a hardworking guy that will serve the library and McCall very well.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, Melanie, you're next.
So I would say only that having met you, Patrick, in the past, along with your wife, I would have had no better top choice in my mind than you. And I'm so excited to see you take on this role.
Thank you, Melanie. Mike, any questions for Patrick?
No, I don't have any questions. I'll look forward to meeting you at some point in time, hopefully in the not too distant future, and appreciate the library board and Meg and everybody working towards vetting out. It looks like there were numerous people interested, and picking somebody that they feel very confident with, and I'm absolutely on board. So,
thank you, Mike. Colby?
No, I don't have any questions. I think that you'll probably be great, and it's like an interesting time to be part of the library right now. So I think that everyone involved will appreciate some new insight, and yeah, that's all I've got.
Thank you, Colby. Patrick, I don't have any questions. If you could stay on the line with us, our procedures are the council will make a motion to appoint you to the Library Board of Trustees. And so I would ask you to stay on board and listen to that. It's a good process to watch. At this point, I will ask council to make a motion to appoint Patrick Coyle to the McCall Public Library Board of Trustees for a term to expire October of 2026. I would like-
Bob, this is Melanie. So moved.
I think we're on at the same time, Melanie.
All right, so Tom actually got on there at first. Melanie, I'll let you second that. Motion has been made and seconded to appoint Patrick Coyle to the McCall Public Library Board of Trustees for a term to expire October of 2026. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Sowers,
Yes.
Councilmember Holmes,
Yes.
Mayor Giles,
Yes.
Councilmember Machesik,
Yes.
Councilmember Nielsen,
Yes.
Thank you, council. The motion passes, it carries, and Patrick, welcome to the McCall Public Library Board of Trustees. Thank you for your service. Look forward to, I usually sit in as the liaison, so I look forward to interacting with you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Meg. Our next agenda bill is number 20-294, request approval of the submission of the Idaho Transportation Department Office of Highway Safety. So that's a traffic enforcement grant agreement. Annette, who's helping us with that tonight?
Mayor Giles, that will be Officer Christian Juan in Chief Justin's place tonight. And again, I also noted a small correction to be made in the agenda bill. The timeline is November 1, 2020. And then at the bottom of the summary, it should say attaches the federal fiscal year 21 agreement. But the meat of it is correct. And Officer Juan's on the call with us tonight to talk to you about this grant and answer any questions you have.
Thank you for that introduction. Christian, I can see you on my screen, and your last name is pronounced Juan, is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. So I guess I'm kind of trial by fire on this last minute deal, but I'm here to present the agenda bill to approve the TEGPA, which is the Transportation Department's Office of Highway Safety Traffic Enforcement Grant Project Agreement. This is the annual agreement that we go with to set the guidelines to work with the Office of Highway Safety. The money that we use to, or that we acquire from the Office of Highway Safety to perform these grants is what we go with to purchase equipment, needed equipment for the patrol vehicles and any other patrol needs. We work, there's a, let me pull it up here. We have 8 grants, the mobilization grants that take place over the fiscal year 2021, ranging from seatbelt to impaired driving, aggressive driving, and distracted driving. It's to ensure that we maintain a safe environment for all traffic and to allow us to purchase that needed equipment to continue to maintain a safe environment within the city.
And Christian, it's my understanding this is, I know sitting on city council for 7 years, we've been doing this quite a bit and been successful at getting these grants. It's been really helpful. So this is an ongoing program, pretty standard business, you might say.
Yes, this has been an ongoing program from before I started 8 years ago. So yeah, it's all been pretty much standard year after year after year.
Okay, well, thank you for giving us the highlights. I'm going to ask council if they have any questions for you on we do have a good printed summary about this traffic enforcement grant project agreement. And so let me poll the council before we make a motion to approve it. All right, I'll start with Melanie. Any questions for Officer
Yep.
Juan?
No, sir, and thank you for coming to see us tonight.
Thanks, Melanie. Tom, you're next.
No, Officer Juan, thanks for a quick, sounds like you got thrown in here, so good work and no questions.
Thank you, Tom. Colby?
No questions for me. Yeah, thanks for filling in. Appreciate it.
Mike?
Nope, thanks, Christian. I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Christian, no questions from Mayor Bob. We're a pretty fun group to work with, so don't be nervous when you're in front of us. We always appreciate hearing from our police force. Thank you very much. Council, who would like to make a motion to approve this? The language is on the recommended action. And is this correct, Annette, the way we have it published in the agenda, Bill, the language in the recommended action?
I believe so. I think it was just in the body of the agenda bill that we had not put the correct year, but.
Okay, this does say fiscal year 21 in the recommended action. So good.
Yes, that's correct.
So council, could someone read that, make a motion to approve submission of the Idaho Transportation Department?
So Bob, I'd like to make a motion to approve submission of the Idaho Transportation Department Office of Highway Safety FFY 21 Traffic Enforcement Grant Project Agreement, TEGPA, application, and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents.
Thanks, Melanie. Is there a second?
Mike, second.
Thank you, Mike. Motion has been made and seconded to approve submission of the Idaho Transportation Department Office of Highway Safety FFY 21 Traffic Enforcement Grant Project Agreement, TEGPA, application, and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Holmes,
Yes.
Councilmember Machezek,
Yes.
Mayor Giles,
Yes.
Councilmember Nielsen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sowers.
Thank you, council. The motion carries. So we're on to our, thank you, Kristen. Appreciate you helping us tonight.
Thank you.
Our next agenda bill is 20-292, request for approval to submit a local rural highway investment program, LRHIP grant application for East Steinhardt Lane.
Mayor and Council, this is Delta James, Economic Development Planner.
Thank you, Delta.
Yes, this agenda bill requests approval to submit an LRIP grant, or a Local Rural Highway Investment Program grant, through LTAC, the Local Highway Technical Assistance Council, in the amount of $100,000 to support the reconstruction of East Steinhardt Lane, which is scheduled in the city's capital improvement program for FY22 for East Steinhardt Lane from the Four Corners at State Highway 55 east to Sampson Trail. This is the same grant program that we have received in the past and supported the reconstruction of Commerce Street in FY17 and also the reconstruction of East Park Street just last year. So we have a good history with this grant program, and we'd like to try again to support the East Steinhardt Lane reconstruction in FY22.
Thank you, Delta. Council, any questions for Delta concerning this grant? We'll start with Mike Machezek.
I don't have any questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Melanie?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks, Melanie. Tom?
No questions, thanks.
Okay, Colby?
I feel so boring tonight. I don't have any questions.
That's all right. We'll average out over all the meetings. Okay, thanks, Colby. And I don't have any questions either, Delta, so I will ask for a motion to be made to approve submittal of this Rural Highway Investment Program.
I move we approve the submittal of local rural highway investment program grant application and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents.
Second.
All right, thank you, council. So Colby made the motion and Tom was the first of the two people to second it. Thank you for that. A motion has been made and seconded to approve submittal of local rural highway investment program grant application and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Nielsen,
Yes.
Councilmember Sowers,
Yes.
Mayor Giles,
Yes.
Councilmember Holmes,
Yes.
Councilmember Machesik,
Yes.
Motion carries, and Delta, please submit that grant request, approval to submit a local rural highway investment. Thanks for your hard work on that.
Will do, Mayor, and thank you.
All right. So we are to the highlight of tonight's program. I'm hoping that we have a good connection with our high school senior from McCall Donnelly High School, Sean Carver. Sean's going to give us a presentation as a senior in high school, and I believe, Sean, this is part of one of the requirements you have as a senior. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Mayor.
Well,
Hi,
welcome.
guys.
So Mayor, if you don't mind, I just wanted to introduce Mr. Carver. So I was lucky enough to be chosen to be his mentor this year for his senior project. And we're gonna get started. I think, when you work with me, I come up with all kinds of new things for you to do. So I think his project's really blossoming. So he's here tonight to tell you a little bit what his plans are, and hopefully you'll see more of them moving forward. So you go ahead, Sean.
All right.
Thanks for the introduction, Aaron. Sean, welcome.
Thank you. So I am proposing my plan for as a senior project. I'm going to be creating a community calendar, not only to bring together the community, but to bring more support into the high school, and then more support into the community from the high school. Just because in these hard times with coronavirus and what happened this summer with Jordan Goodwin, it's been a hard year for all of us. And I just want to give back to the community for a good reason and try and help us get back together as a strong community once again. And I think with this community calendar idea would be amazing. It would be located on the City of McCall page, and it's going to be easy, accessible. It'll give points of where all of our high school events are going to be and what time they will be and what they are going to be, and vice versa with all the community events, upcoming art shows, anything that you guys want to put in, guys, let me know and I'll put it in there and we'll get that going.
Sean, do you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, what you do in your spare time?
Yeah, so I'm actually a football player, and we do have a last home game tomorrow. So it would be really awesome if you guys could show up and support us. We're playing Payette, and I like to work out. I just like to be out in the community and just be like a person in the community and just reach out to everyone and just be there for everyone.
So, and I don't know if it's still on Sean's radar, but we actually talked a little bit about if you were open to it, council, having Sean come back periodically and share with you some activities that are going on at the school. So it's a little bit more top of mind for you. So I think if you have any comments for him or advice, I'm sure he'd love to take it.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the council would be interested in that, Aaron. That's a great idea. I'm sure that we would look forward to that. And Sean, thank you for coming up with a great idea. You have a very good mentor. You have a lot of confidence in Aaron's guidance. Great helping all of us, and wish you the best on that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna run through each council member so they have a chance to give you some encouragement and some feedback on your presentation tonight. I'm
Okay.
gonna start with Tom Powers.
Yeah, good work, Sean. This looks like a pretty neat program. One of the first things that I did when I moved to McCall is I went to a Doing Democracy library. I don't know if you've ever been to one of these. Topic was, how do we get the community to know what's going on? Kind of roughly what it was. And this was kind of one of their things they talked about, community based. You know, now you can show Aaron how to do Snapchat, how to communicate that way, Twitter, and all the other 35 platforms. You know, we're old. So, yeah, it's a great idea. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mike, you're next up.
Well, Sean, I commend you on your interest and desire to do what you're doing and try to engage people in public service, which is very important. And so good work, and feel free to reach out to us or me or anybody anytime. The more the people that are in high school understand the value of this stuff and what's actually going on, it's really good. So I commend you on your work.
Thank you.
Melanie.
Hey, Sean, how you doing? Sorry about my dog in the background.
Oh, you're all good.
I just want to let you know that I'm actually a friend of Jordan's mom's, and I really respect what you're doing for your senior project. I think it's a harder project than most people would think, actually.
Yeah.
And so as an older, I guess, person who supports you fully, I would be happy in any time to show you what I look at when I'm looking at community events and try to help you put that together. But ultimately, I just want to say that I completely support you, and anything I can do, I will be here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melanie. Colby?
Hi, Sean. Thanks for taking this project on. I think it's great. You know, it's nice to see a broad range calendar for events and just information in the community. So, any work we can put towards creating something that people use that's super valuable to our community. And I echo everyone else that there's any questions or any way that any one of us can help, feel free to reach out. I know from my professional end, we have many events that happen at the Little Ski Hill, and we always work on ways to try to get our information out into the community. So thanks again, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Sean, I think you heard a lot of nice comments from the council. They're all sincere. I've got a great group here, and we look forward. We're excited about your project. We really are. It's really important, and look forward to hearing from you as often as you and Aaron think we need to hear from you. So good luck on this, and keep us posted. And Aaron, thanks for helping out. Wish you the best.
Thank you. Really appreciate this.
I think it'll be great for our community. It'll make a difference. And someone, I can't remember who it was, might have been Councilmember Mike that said this is a pretty big project. Maybe it was Melanie, but I think we all feel that way. It's not an easy thing that you're taking on, and I'm glad that you're challenged. It'll be great.
Bob, can I ask
Yes.
one more question?
Absolutely. We've got time. Please do, Melanie.
So Sean, I'm just curious, we haven't talked about any way that, you know, we can support you, whether it be financially or, you know, just in terms of support, but is there anything we can do for you?
I I just would like you guys to give me all the information that you would want to put on the calendar or just support. You know, I'm still just trying to figure out how to post up the calendar and try to figure out all the details first, and then I'll let you guys know if I need any help.
Yeah,
Well,
he has no idea what's in store. We have lots of training ahead.
Okay, that's awesome. If we can actually get your email address or some sort of information in the future that would help us reach out to you, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'll gladly give you guys that information.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Aaron. Look forward to working with you, and I'm sure we'll have some great results. All right. So that brings us up to our monthly COVID-19 update.
Okay, Mayor, again, Annette Spickard, City Manager. Justin Williams is on vacation right now, so I said I would cover for him. This will be pretty brief. We've had in the last week here 3 new positive cases. So the number of positive cases in Valley County has slowed down, which is good news. However, down in the Magic Valley and the Treasure Valley area, they're still seeing strong numbers. And today on the Central District Health website, if you go out and look at their little dashboards, they have a variety of different data points they're tracking. The one that stood out is that there are only 10 intensive care unit beds available right now for this whole region, including Boise. And so if folks are needing medical services related to that would require an ICU bed, that would be a concern. And not all of the ICU patients are necessarily COVID-19 patients, but the availability of beds is something that the state has been tracking in terms of pressures and impacts on the hospital system. As you know, we'll talk about this on the upcoming meeting schedule. We have been noticing the public hearing for your November 5th meeting regarding the emergency powers ordinance being reestablished. Oh, and then the other thing I was going to let you know is that the State of Idaho Health and Welfare Department submitted their vaccination plan to the Centers for Disease Control last Friday. They've appointed a vaccine task force, and so all the states across the country are now turning their sights towards when the vaccine will be available and how it will get distributed and in what priority order next year. So that will be a lot of the focus at the state level, is getting ready for that rollout and what resources are needed across the state in order to make that happen. So stay tuned for more on that. But if you are curious now, they do have several documents up on the Idaho coronavirus webpage from the governor's office with links to all of the detail. So we'll be following that as well. Do you have any questions for me?
Thanks,
or follow-up info you'd like me to get for you?
Let's run through the group. Tom, can you start us out?
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Melanie, you're next.
I'm good, thanks.
Thanks, Melanie. Mike, any questions for Annette?
No questions, thank you.
Colby?
None for me.
And I'm good also, Annette. Thank you for briefing us on that. We'll let you lead us through upcoming meetings now.
Alrighty. So we do not have a special council meeting tomorrow. That would have been our normal day. We've moved it out to next Friday for the library facility work session. You should get your packet of materials related to that either at the end of the day tomorrow or on Monday. We're still finishing those up. And then I will let Bessie Jo speak to the item that's on the upcoming meeting schedule paper there about the request from the county commissioners to meet with you together about the Idaho Department of Lands endowment lands discussion and Trident proposal, and then we can talk about the rest of the upcoming meetings.
Yes, I worked with Doug Miller, the county clerk, and we chose the location of the McCall clubhouse, the golf course clubhouse. It can, I think, easily fit 12 people socially distanced in there. And November 10th at 6 p.m. if that works for the council.
Anyone have a problem with November 10th at 6 p.m., Bessie Jo?
Yes, sir.
So that's a Tuesday evening.
Bob, I may not be here, but I'll do my best.
Okay. How about the rest of council? Does that work? Tuesday?
Work for me, Mike.
Okay. All right. Let's lock
Great.
that in then.
That's great. Thank you so much, council. So I already referenced for November 5th, we'll be doing the public hearing for the emergency powers ordinance. And we will also have a public hearing on a budget amendment for the FY21 budget that Linda will go over with you. We have a couple more public hearings slated for November 19th. You have a special work session November 20th for public art. And I would point out that the dates for November and December are moved to the 1st and 3rd Thursdays in recognition of the holiday weeks that occur in November and December. Bessie Jo, am I forgetting any major thing on December? I don't think so. And then we need to start thinking about planning for your council retreat, which is typically in January. And if you will start checking in with you on any thoughts you have regarding specific topics or training you would like. We'll, as we get closer, obviously have a feel for the format, whether it's in person, virtual, hybrid, however we're going to do that, and the location. So just want to get that planted in your mind that it's about time to start thinking about getting ready for the new year. Is there anything else that the council would like to see added to the agenda?
Annette, this is Melanie. I'd like to actually discuss the signs that we have potentially removed in the past. I've had multiple questions recently about signage, and particularly ones that relate to health and safety. And I'd like to know if the council is with me in that. I feel like we at least need to know what's been removed in the past. And I feel like we need to identify a couple of public safety issues, regardless if we feel like people read them. We need to provide some sort of health and safety, I guess, identification.
So council, recently we've had some complaints come in about driver behavior and whether or not we should put up some signage in the right of way to inform people of the state law regarding, for example, passing people on the right, which is not allowed, but happens. And our public works director and the chief of police let me know that at one point in the past, the council had embarked on a project to declutter the amount of signage that was on our roadways. And so I don't know if those signs specifically used to be up about not passing on the right, but Councillor Holmes had raised the question about
they were up.
When do we put them back up? Which one should we put up? That type of thing. And so if the council's interested in that discussion, we can get that scheduled and bring information back for you.
I think we would be interested in that because, yeah, I think it'd be a really good discussion. However it ends up, but I think Melanie brings up a really good point. And thanks for that, Annette, for providing that background.
Did I?
How's the rest of the council feel?
Thank you,
Is that
Annette.
a topic?
That was perfect, by the way.
Is that a topic that is worthy of discussion from your point of view, Tom? You okay with that?
Sure.
Reviewing what's been done and.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of refresh it. I'm not aware of it, so.
Okay, Colby, you good with that?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Mike, you good with that?
Yeah, I would just think that having, I assume this would happen anyways, but as an agenda item that would have some background and reporting and recommendations from Public Works and the Chief of Police.
Yeah, we would just put all of that material together and what was that historical decision that was made. I don't know if we kept any kind of inventory of what used to be there in the past versus what's there today, but we can see what we can put together to help guide the council in some decision making on signage. And just a general comment is that with driver behavior, there's the sort of rule of three, the 3 E's, which is engineering, education, and enforcement. So you can do things where you engineer designs that drive certain behaviors. So an example of that would be putting those bollards at the corner there by Hotel McCall. There's education, which of course is signage or social media posts or whatever kind of awareness campaign activities you can do to educate people on driver safety. And then the last is enforcement, of course. And so trying to figure out which of those tools is the best tool or best combination to try to get the driver behavior that you want to see is always the question, like which one or how many of these should you do? So we'll put together some information for you, and I will talk to the department heads on Tuesday about where we can schedule that in on your upcoming calendar.
Thank you, Annette. And Melanie, thanks for bringing that up. Because I think most of us have seen that kind of behavior this fall and this summer of people driving off the road, passing on the right.
Well,
and
I think,
right.
yeah, I do think that with the increasing traffic that we're seeing, that we at least need to give this some attention. And I appreciate everybody's response.
Good. Thanks, Annette. I think you have a good vision of how you can help us and have the staff interact with us. So I think other than that, I think everyone's good with the way future agendas are envisioned and meeting schedule. Any council, any last minute thoughts on that, or are we all good with the schedule as we have discussed it tonight for between now and the end of January? Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, as we're doing our agendas, and it's nice to have some balance, whereas like this meeting was an hour and 15 minutes and we've had ones that seem like they've been closer to 5 hours. Yeah. If we can balance a little closer maybe to the 2-3 hours rather than getting into those 5-hour ones, because I think that people can get a little bit, it can be a little taxing when it's that long. So if we can try to keep the agendas balanced, it certainly would be probably most beneficial.
Mhm.
Input on
I'm
the,
on board with that, especially with a 40-hour work week.
Give me more hours. I'm only working 60.
All right. No, that's a good observation. I think wherever possible, we do a little better on meetings that are more like 3 to 4 hours. All right. I will look for a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Mike, motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Melanie. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, council.
Thanks, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Thank you.